Did you know that fondant has the same therapeutic benefits as Play-Doh or therapeutic? Well, it does. It has so many uses and it is a lot yummier, right? So today I'm going to show you how you can use fondant as a therapeutic medium to create this beautiful cupcake and how you can use this activity to enhance pre-writing skills and fine motor skills with your learner using this worksheet. And there's more. I'm also going to share with you a data collection system which is so super simple. You can do it in a matter of minutes. The goal here is to provide you with all the tools you need to be successful with your client and to make your life easier. So come with me and let's get therapeutic.
So these are some of the items you're going to need to make your ghost cupcake. We have powdered sugar, a lollipop or a sucker, a edible ink marker, a rolling pin, just a regular knife, of course your fondant, a yummy cupcake, and some scissors. And then I also have a lid here, which is about 5 inches in diameter. So anything that you have that's about that size would work. Or of course, if you have a cookie cutter, that would be great too. Alright, so you're going to start off with a little bit of fondant, and then you're going to take some powdered sugar and just sort of roll it in there. And then this is just so it's not as sticky when you're kneading it. If it's not sticky, you don't have to do this part. You can skip it. But all you're doing now is kneading the fondant. And the reason I compare it so much to therapeutic is because you can change the resistance with the fondant. When you first bring it out of the box, it tends to be more, it tends to be harder, has a greater resistance involved, and that's great depending on what type of client you're working with. But if you want it a little softer, you can pop it into the microwave for about 10 seconds or so, or you can just add some water. So what I'm doing first is just flouring my surface and getting my dough, so to speak, ready. And then I'm just going to use my rolling pin and roll out my fondant, just like you would when you're playing with Play-Doh, for example. Now, this is such a hard skill for a lot of students, I've noticed, being able to keep the correct pressure and roll at the same time. It's either too hard or too soft. So there are guides actually that you can purchase. They're like rings that you put on the fondant rolling pin, and that really helps with being able to show a student how much pressure they need to put on. So here we have our fondant, and oh, it's a bit bubbly on this side, so I'm just going to switch it over, see if I can smooth that out, because you might get some bubbles sometimes, and of course you don't want that on your sheet, on your ghost. So we might just avoid that part. Okay, and then you're going to take you can take a cookie cutter or a lid or a bowl, but you're looking for something about 5 inches in diameter, and you're popping it over here, and you're just going to use it as a cookie cutter so that you can really get that nice shape. And I just rolled it just enough so it cuts off that portion, and then you're going to pop it over and just peel it off. And of course, if you have a cookie cutter, that's even better, but you can use scissors, you can use anything, and you can sort of smooth out the edges if you wanted. But again, it's a bed sheet and it's a ghost, so we're not too worried about that, I imagine. All right, and then the next step's going to be taking a lollipop, and you're just going to peel it off and get it ready for your cupcake. Now you can use a bigger lollipop or sucker if you'd like. so that, it has a bigger head. But of course, you can just use this too. So here is my cupcake, and I'm popping this in here. And actually, I'm going to move it a little bit because it seems to be. And I want to leave a nice space so that my cupcake or my bed sheet has space to sort of fall nicely, right? And then you're just going to pop it on. And again, be super gentle. But at this point, you're just kind of messing with it a bit to get it to the right angle that you want, that you're looking for. And you can even tug on your sheet to get the right posture. I think that looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is take our edible ink marker and we're going to draw our faces. So some nice oval eyes. And if your learner is not good at drawing, what you could do is just use, those edible beads, or of course they have eyes too that you can purchase, icing eyes that you can purchase. And then I'm just going to make a scary face and a mouth, a nice oval mouth. And then there you have it. I love these edible pens. They're so fun. And there is my spooky. There he goes. My spooky cupcake. Ooh. Okay, so this worksheet is all to address pre-handwriting skills and goes along with the activity. So what you're going to do is ask your student, do you want to make your ghost okay, scary, or mad, or any other variation, depending on what pre-handwriting skills they're working on. So I'm going to pretend my student is working in horizontal strokes, and I've drawn some dots just to give them a visual cue. I'm only doing a 15-second timing, and I'm going to ask them to go as fast as they can in 15 seconds, make as many ghosts as possible, look okay, but try to stay within the dots to get a good score. And students love the short bursts of practice because not only is it fun, it's like a game, but it's so short, even though it's hard for them, they know there's an end coming. So depending on your student's endurance, you can do 15 seconds, you could do 30, 1 minute, it just depends. So I'm going to pretend I am a preschooler and I've got 15-second timing, and I'm going to make my ghost. And while your student is doing this, you want to reinforce them the whole time. That's going to be really important because that's going to keep them motivated and engaged. Okay, so let's see what my score was. So this looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't quite get this and didn't quite get that. So I got 5 correct and 2 incorrect. So that might be my score. And then I might tell the student, okay, you got 5 correct. Do you think you can go again? And see if you can beat your score. And then they would do it again and we would practice again. And then the nice thing is now you've got some data that you can chart. So let me show you how you can do that.
I do hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I know my videography is not the best yet, but I hope you got the gist of it and your ghost turned out just as scary or perhaps scarier than mine. And now that you know how to use the worksheet, let's take a look at how we can chart the data. It's simpler than you think.
So here is my standard acceleration chart that I think you're pretty familiar with now. And what I'm going to do is chart the data. So let's just pretend my student got this score. Pop it right here. And I'm going to just so you can see better what I'm charting. Okay, so we know it was a 15-second timing. So again, if we look on this side of the chart, it tells us where to chart the counting floor, which is at 15 seconds, and if you go all the way over here, you'll see it's at the 4 line. So it's going to be around here somewhere, right? And then the first date is August 31st. So let's look up here, August 29, 30, 31st. Okay, so I'm going to put my, yep, this is my counting floor, and then that tells me that it was a 15-second timing, and now I'm going to chart my data. So she got 2 correct. Now, because it was a 15-second timing and we're trying to convert to a per minute score, we would multiply 2 by 4. So I'm actually going to chart it at the 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8 right here, and that's my dot. That's her score. But she got 8 incorrect. I'm sorry, 4 incorrect. So 4 times 4 is 16, so she actually got quite a lot. Here's 20, so 16 is going to be about here. So she got quite a few incorrect, as you can see. But then on September 7th, here's the 5th, 6th, 7th, here's the 7th, and she got 3 correct. 3 times 4 is 12, so my dot will be here. She got 2 incorrect. 2 times 4 is 8, so my X will be right here. Now, September 14th, here's the 12th, 13th, 14th. There we are. And she got 3 correct. 3 times 4 is 12, so the same spot. And she got 1 incorrect. So 1 times 4 is 4, so it'll be right on top. And then the 21st, so here's the 19th, 20, 21st. Again at the 4 mark, which is the 15-second, and on September 21st got 4 correct, so 4 times 4 is 16, so we're about here, and then 1 incorrect, so right on top again. And then on the 27th, 26, 27, another Monday, she got 5 correct, so 5 times 4 is 20, 10, 20, so here's 20. And then she got 0 incorrect, and we put a question mark for that. So, knowing nothing about charting this chart, you can tell just looking at the dots that her scores are improving. And if you look at her errors, they are decreasing. So that tells me that she's progressing quite well, and we just need to keep practicing.